Hey folks, this is Lonzo. It's Wednesday, not Tuesday, but that's okay. Same players, different day. It's going down, folks. Welcome to N.W.A. Stories with Lonzo, my man Dusty in the dugout. And it goes like this. From the West Coast to the East Coast and everything between, folks. From Eve After Dark to concerts in the park. You're live with your boy Lonzo, the Godfather of West Coast Hip Hop. We do this Monday, sometimes Wednesday, sometimes Tuesday. Hey, we do it though. Here we go. All right. Yo, what up, Dusty?
So I'm pretty high on medication right now. So forgive me if I'm a little slow today, but I heard you guys, you're not feeling too well also, man.
Whatever you got, I picked it up some way, form, or fashion. I'm trying to shake it. I thought I was going to get by with a little mild mini dose. It hit me today real tough, man. So I'm going to get through this hour and I'm going to call it a day.
Yeah, we got this, man. We got this. Shout out to the chat and shout out to everybody. Please hit that like button before you get situated and comfortable. And please hit that subscribe button if this is your first time joining the channel. But let's jump into it, Lonzo. How was the Compton Christmas parade?
Compton Christmas parade, man, was probably one of the best Christmas parades we've had in a long time, dude. It was well attended by the citizens of Compton. We had a variety of entries in the parade. We had our regulars, our marching bands, and our churches, but we had a lot of lowriders. We had motorcycle clubs. We had the slingshot club. We had the equestrians, politicians. It was really a good parade, man. It was very unique.
I love that, man. I used to go when I was a kid to the Compton parade specifically, and I've told this story before, but one year, Tiny Lister, aka Debo from Friday, R.I.P., but he hit on my ex-girlfriend at the Compton parade, and all I could do was sit back and be like, please don't walk off with him. She ain't giving me no love. But I was like, this dude, I'm looking up to this guy, and I was skinny as hell back then. And I was like, yeah, go on and do your thing. Zeus, I knew him as Zeus back then from the wrestling.
Wow, yeah, he was definitely another Compton night. It was a good parade though, man. It was really cool. I can't complain. I was surprised at the attendance when I turned, because I was in the parade when I turned that made that right turn onto Long Beach Boulevard. I'm like, wow, we've never met with that many people on the corners and all the way down the parade. It was really strong.
That's a good sign. What were you guys rolling in?
Oh, we rolled in the caddy, baby. Rolled in the Blade, the 85. Oh. I strapped on one of my speakers and plugged in one of my speakers, microphone, and we rolled down the parade in the Blade. Me, my partner, Nicole, and my other partner, Vicky. We just went out and Vicky sang, and we played music and talked shit to the crowd.
I love that, man. I love that. Well, let's go ahead and talk about some of the news stories this week, Lonzo, and we're going to touch on Compton a little bit later, but let's talk about probably the biggest story this week that I would love your thoughts on. What are your general thoughts on all these drones that people are seeing all over the country?
Well, you know what, man? We in Droneville right now, dude. Everybody is, trying to find various uses for drones, whether it be delivery, policing, whatever the case may be. So I think we just on the tip of the iceberg of the drones being a regular part of our lives.
Yeah. You know what? I think that too. I think when this is all said and done, it's going to be a lot of just worry. But like you said, man, yeah, this is the world that we live in right now is people flying drones. I know a few friends that have them. You got to be a certified pilot. Well, not a certified pilot. You have to be a certified drone person to actually fly your drone in the sky.
You take the same test. Well, you take the aviation test, like flying a plane. It's some of the same testing you have to fly a drone. Because in certain areas you can't fly a drone in. Perfect example is where I live at. I live in the path of a municipal airport. You fly a drone over here over 200 feet, they're gonna let you know on the screen. It'll tell you, hey, your ass is in trouble. Don't keep on. Go up another 100 feet, see what's happening. So yeah.
Do you think the government knows a little bit, more than they're telling us? They're not really saying much right now, but do you think they know a little bit more than what they're telling the public?
A whole lot more than what they're telling the public, man. Dude, I can sit here and sound like a conspiracy theorist, and I got my own beliefs on a lot of things, but if certain things are, it's a lot of unexplainable things that we can't figure out no way, form, or fashion.
Yeah.
And sometimes things would go beyond our understanding, maybe because it wasn't something we did. Okay. Now, whether you want to call it an angel, an alien, whatever the case may be, it's something that's done way beyond our educational realm. And depending on what it really is going to will change the whole consciousness of the earth, dude.
Yeah.
Think about that for a second. Let's just say a big if. What if there was aliens
Mm-hmm.
and they did a lot of the things that pyramids, whatever the case? I don't know. I'm not saying they are. Don't start so crazy. I'm just saying if they were. Do you know how that would affect the religious community?
It would probably destroy it.
Okay. Now, if they were here to help us, if our mindset is what has been on anything we don't understand, we're gonna try and destroy it.
Mm-hmm.
They crucified Jesus.
Yeah.
He was put in to save you, but they still crucified him. So I'm not gonna make that a big issue, a big debate, but I'm just giving you an example of what could happen and what did happen based on man's fear and lack of knowledge. So, hey, I hope it is what it is, and I hope whatever it is here to help. And I hope it's just just a test.
Yeah. When I was in 5th grade, we did a project, a class assignment, and the assignment was, this was probably 1987, 1989, around there. The project was, what do we think the year 2000 is going to be like? And it's so crazy. I've read this. I still have it in one of those old where we used to write every day journal, whatever they call it at school. And I remember writing that there would be flying cars and all this stuff that hasn't really happened yet, but is definitely going to be in the near future. But my question for you, man, when you were, let's go like, 10, 12, 15 years old, what did you think the year 2000 was going to be like?
They told us we're going to have pay TV. Never forget. How do you get pay TV? Do you put a quarter slot on top of the television? How do you? And you may be drinking bottled water. Why you got to drink out we're drinking out the hole still. We ain't got to. We barely using cups and glasses. We grabbed the hose like it was nobody's business. Some of the best water I had in my life was out of a water hose back in the day. Some of the best water I've ever tasted came out of a water hose. Some of the lines that me and my daddy would cut back in the day. And then they said, how you gonna why would you put it in bottles instead of holes already? Come out the water out the faucet for free. And just trying to navigate that mentally as a kid was a major strain for us. But as we see, we get a bill every month to watch television. We get a bill every month to watch TV. We drink bottled water. We don't. The water that could come out of our faucets is not the color. Sometimes it takes a minute for it to get clear, depending on where you live, and which means it's not fit for drinking in most cases. And I go to the store right to this day. I go to the store and I look for a certain kind of water, because just like soda, water tastes different.
Mm-hmm.
Different waters. Bull. I'm sorry, Doc. I'm sorry. Different water tastes different. Okay. And it took me a minute to figure that out. Even as a grown ass man, it took me a minute, because some water I could chug that like it's nobody's business. Other water, I'm gonna sip on. It's not. It don't do that much for me. So yes, these are some of the things that I've learned to adjust to as I've gotten older, and definitely reflect back on my childhood when they told me certain things. I could not understand why you would say that, because that makes no sense to me. But here we are today. It makes perfect sense.
Yeah, I could envision you back in the day saying, why would you pay for TV? We got 5 practically good channels. We got 2, 4, 9. Why would we pay for TV?
Yeah, we got 7 channels. Like, shit. But I tell you what, though, the flying cars, they don't call them cars. But I took a test drive about a month ago. It was a simulator of a flying vehicle. Man, flying cars are that far that far around the corner.
Yeah.
The company called Joby, Joby. Look them up, and they were in Compton for the anniversary of the Compton Airport, and they gave had a big old trailer with a simulator. They gave out free simulator rides. And dude, just like it was like driving, you know how you go to Disneyland or one of those other music parks, and they have the 3-dimensional screens, whatever, and you can you can feel everything moving, and you in full control. Yes, Doc, I did that, and based on what I experienced that day, although it looked like a big drone, but you can't call it a drone.
Mm-hmm. That's a car.
It's a flying vehicle. It's not a drone. Okay, and it held 4 people, and based on they're going to be flying taxis, and their thing is to be able to get you from your house to LAX in 20 minutes, regardless of what time it is. Might cost you $75, but I'm just saying they are testing these different type of vehicles, big, large, and small, to bring them into society, man. It's another revenue stream. It's another revenue stream. So if you can fly, get people to imagine, man, you got to be somewhere, because at the airport, you go to the airport, you got to leave at least 2 hours early, maybe 3 sometimes, depending on where you live, just to get there and stand in line for another hour. Take off your shoes, do the scan thing, and then run to your gate. Hopefully, in enough time where you're not in a big rush. Okay. Now, you can fly, because you can fly, walk out your house, fly, go straight up over the 405, over the 91, over the 105, and land damn near at your gate. Okay. You might have to go to a little security thing, but trust me, it won't be nowhere near what you would deal with if you come to the front door. So yeah, I see the technology coming into fruition, and just a matter of time, Doc. All they're doing right now is doing their beta testing, dude. They just doing their beta testing. Another 3 or 4 years, it's gonna be common practice. I'm going to bet you by the time the Olympics get here, it's gonna be common practice. It's gonna be common practice. Everybody is gearing up for the Olympics again. Everybody is making some type of arrangement to take part in the financial impact that the Olympics is going to bring here in 2028. Done deal. Okay. And transportation is going to be a big deal, because what I understand is that most of the venues will be vehicle private. No private vehicles will be allowed on the property. They're not going to do all that security hassle. Hop on this bus. All we got to do is search your ass. We ain't got to search no cars. Okay. That's my understanding. I sit on a lot of meetings, and the understanding is Metro is working out between Uber, Metro, and whoever else. They're bringing in buses from all over the country to be able to accommodate people. And they're also going to be a lot of traffic situations are going to change during the Olympics. So to see some drones flying around, people with the money being able to have a drone scoop you up, drop you off at the hotel, it's coming. And Uber is right there in the mix.
I mean, Amazon delivering packages with drones.
Yeah. So that's what you see, Doc. You see in Amazon dropping off packages. I mean, you think about this, man. Amazon has a big waste thing. One is you got a driver burning up gas and a big ass box for a little bitty package. You got a big old box, little bitty package, and you got he got to take the same energy and time and gas to drop off a little bit bag of pills as he do a television set. So if you get him to minimize his effort on the small stuff and focus on the big stuff, and you got drones doing the small stuff, that's a good business model.
Yeah, I agree. How do you think drones will affect law enforcement? Do you think it'll affect it positively or negatively, or a little bit of both?
law enforcement has to make some changes in order to be more effective using something like a drone. One of my ideas I've had for years was to be able to videotape street takeovers, send the video to the local law enforcement agency, and let them go and deal with that situation later on. But because a street takeover is not a felony, and police will not accept a citizen's second party videotape as evidence of a misdemeanor. So if they change the law, and by not having deputies on site, having a deputy witness it through the screen of the drone, get in there, see what the license plate number is, and bust them. They see him on Sunday, they bust him on Monday. Very possible, because everything that's being done, all the stupid shit that's being done right now is done for the internet. So drones are being flown around the circle. I call them circle jerks. Drones are being flown around the circle jerks, and whether it's a police drone or a private drone, you won't know until they pop up at your house.
Yeah. Yep. Good looking out, Marlon. Appreciate you, brother. He says, much love, Unc and Dust. Merry Christmas to you, man. I hope you're having a good season. You know, what do you think, Lonzo? What do you think when it comes to human error and human idiocracy, I guess? How do you think they will handle things like drunk drivers up in the sky, you know, and the next thing you know, a drone falls? Like, how do you think they're going to handle that? You think they'll be self-driving? Like, what do you think? Where do you think that's going?
Oh yeah, I think they'll definitely be self-driving. Just like you can punch in your address and they'll tell you where to go. They'll have navigation tied into where you can just punch in the address and fall asleep, and that's something to take you where you got to go. I mean, when you got driverless cars on the streets, I think it would be much easier to navigate a drone in the air, especially not that far up in the air. You may not be 200 feet up in the air, but I think I can see it being a lot easier navigating, actually a lot safer navigating a drone around the country, and an unmanned drone while you sleep or whatever the case may be, as opposed to a car that is on the freeway and you got to compete with other cars. Your car may be aware of what's happening, but the asshole that's driving the other car may not be. A perfect example today. I'm coming out of the side street. I see this fool. He's in the second lane. I'm finna merge to the first lane. He changes lanes. As soon as I start making my way into the lane, he changes lanes. Now he see me coming. He got to swerve out the way. I'm like, dude, why you saw me coming? Why would you even change lanes like that? And he was flying. He damn near flipped his car over.
Man,
he damn near flipped his car. So a drone might not recognize that the same way I did. You know what I'm saying? You know, that, like they always say, look out for the other guy, because the other guy could be a fool.
Mm-hmm. You know, as we mentioned earlier, we had 7 channels back in the day. 2, 4, 5, 7, 9, 11, and 13 came a little bit later, but those are the ones we had. Plus we had like the channel 28 and whatever, 34, 52 with the Spanish. But what were some of your favorite TV shows as a kid and a young adult?
Man, y'all got to go deep into YouTube to find this. I found it on YouTube. They had some monkeys, some chimpanzees. It came on after school every day, called Lancelot Link.
Huh? Lancelot Lincoln?
Lancelot Link.
Huh? Never heard of that.
They would give these monkeys like peanut butter or whatever, and make their mouths move. Then people would do their voices. Okay. I loved Winter Mahoney Time. Again, we talk about the 70s, 69, 70.
Lancelot Link, Secret Chimp.
Yeah, Secret Chimps. Yeah, seriously. They had monkeys, chimpanzees that put them in suits and all kinds of stuff, and they'd have people doing their voices, and that shit was crazy. And with those were our Power Rangers back then. You know, we had monkeys and people, puppets and shit. Winter Mahoney Time was the puppet show. Jerry Mahoney and Knucklehead Smith, dude, don't give me the memories. They had some puppets. Winter Mahoney was a puppeteer, and he had these 2 goofy puppets, Winchell Mahoney and Knucklehead Smith, and they sit in this little booth, and he would, be in the back, and they were just our afternoon entertainment.
Damn, dude. Yeah, I'm looking up stuff like so. That Lancelot Link, that literally only lasted one season, and it's amazing that you still remember it. It started on September 12th, 1970, and it stopped broadcast on January 2nd, 1971. But they did play replays of it. But damn, that's a short run. That's a 3 or 4 month thing.
Dude, I couldn't tell.
Wow.
I couldn't tell because back then, we didn't have the same thing. Back then, you saw something. If you missed it until the next time around.
Sometimes probably never even saw it.
You might never saw it again. If the Wizard of Oz came out once a year.
Mm-hmm.
If you missed it that time of year, you missed it till next year.
Charlie Brown Christmas.
You missed it. If you missed any part of that, you won't see it again till next year. Wasn't no Hulu, wasn't no TiVo, wasn't none of that shit. So you had to be attentive. And that's what I was telling somebody just the other day. For it to be a week before Christmas. A week before Christmas. And it don't feel nothing like it. The fact that I don't feel like great myself right now don't help.
I've been feeling, I haven't felt it in the last 4 days. I'm just not feeling it.
The most I felt for Christmas was probably doing the Christmas parade. And even
that always gets me up.
Even then, I didn't hear a lot of Christmas music. They was bumping Kendrick Lamar through the Christmas parade. So unless he make a Christmas song, it was a parade. You saw the decorations, various Christmas trees, whatever, but you didn't. When I was growing up, you had Santa Claus that rode. It was a Gillette. One of them commercials. There was an electric razor, and Santa Claus would ride the electric razor down the Snowbeard or whatever the case may be. And our commercials, you didn't have. Again, you only had maybe seven, eight channels, so you saw these commercials on every channel. And about October, you get the Sears catalog, the Montgomery Ward catalog, and there was another one we was talking about just the other day. You get the catalog, and the catalog had all the stuff that you knew you wasn't gonna get, but you can claim it anyway.
That's right. Circle it, man. Those were good times because you knew you wasn't getting. My mom was poor as hell. I was not getting that GI Joe set that I wanted, that Transformers.
So you saw it. You saw it. You saw the mini bikes. You saw the bicycles. You saw the puppets. You saw all the stuff but you wasn't gonna get that shit. You knew you wasn't gonna get it, but you just saw it though, man. And having the catalog was most of the damn fun.
Yeah. A few years later, I did a different thing with those catalogs. Well, that's a whole other stuff. I'll be looking through the catalog trying to find me a nipple. I'm like, I know that's a nipple. I go to the end with the girl with the female undergarments and all that.
Yeah,
like, that's a nipple. It ain't no damn nipple. JC Penney. That's the one.
Catalog. There you go. All them catalogs, man. They be about that thick, man. They be about that thick. Sears catalog? Oh man, come on, dude. Sears catalog was major.
Yeah. And before we continue, I gotta send a shout out to my mom because even though we were poor as hell, she still made it happen. I don't know how she made it happen. We would be without lights for a couple months, or we'd be eating beans and top ramen for a few weeks, but she always made it happen. So I just wanted to give her a shout out because she does watch the show. But shout out to my mom, man. I'm sure there's a lot of moms out there who somehow made it happen. I don't know if she was selling pussy on the side or something. Just joking. She would appreciate that joke, trust me.
It's Christmas time. Come on by here and bring me a couple $100.
Hey, we talked about how back in the day, if you missed a TV show or you missed a movie, you missed it sometime forever, or at least we thought forever back then. But tell me how amazed you were when VCRs came out.
Dude, when VCRs came out, I had Eve After Dark.
Ooh.
I just got the Eve After Dark. I had it for a minute, but VCRs came out like 80 something, early 80s. And me with my technology ass, I always wanted to be up on technology. And I bought a big ass VCR. It was the only kind they had back there, was big ones. and I rented a movie, the Superman movie, with Christopher Reeves, and I bought a so-called big screen. It was a 2-piece unit. It had a screen and a projector. It was 2 pieces. Had a big ass screen, about I don't know, about 4 feet by 4 feet, and it had a projector that sat in front of it in like a little box, and you can see it had them 3 big old green, yellow, and blue, whatever it was, green, yellow, and blue lenses that projected onto the screen. And I never forget, I went to a video store in Gardena and rented the Superman movie. I like having people. I like people having stuff to do in the club when they wasn't dancing. So I made this little lounge area. Put this TV over there. Put this VCR over there, and I would play little movies and shit, and messed around there. And the first movie I rented in my life got stuck in the VCR.
Damn.
Cost me $79.
Ooh, that was a lot back then, kids.
Yeah, not right now. For a movie, $79. It cost me $79 because I couldn't get the video at the VCR. VCR only cost me a couple $100.
Yeah.
I got on a special homie discount, but the video, it cost me $79 because I couldn't bring it back. But that was just the beginning, dude. It was just, and that whole little area was really nice for a while. And folks realized that if you turn the couches around, you might be able to get your finger wet or something. So I had to cut that shit loose. The niggas fucking everything.
Got a little orgy going on in the corner. Knock it off, guys. It's Superman. Damn.
What is that smell? We cooking fish in this motherfucker. Somebody cooks, got some filet of fish up. No, man, come on, man. Yeah, we got to cut that shit loose.
Damn, dude, that's hilarious, man. Yeah, the video, and I just have memories of being a kid and on a Friday or Saturday going to the video store, man. There was nothing better. I can still smell it now. Just going to the video store. They had action over here, comedy over here, drama, and just go in there, getting maybe some popcorn or some licorice. That was my thing, the little red vines, and just going home and watching movies.
Yes, man. Oh, dude, I remember that was a cool date night at home.
Yeah. That was our Netflix and chill.
That was a cool date night at home, man. When you and your girl get together, let's go pick up a couple of videos, because you can get like 10 for $3, 3 for $10, something like that. Blockbuster. Get some microwave popcorn, like you said, some red vines. I still love red vines right to this day. Some red vines and something to drink, man. And hopefully you finish the movies.
That's hilarious.
Hopefully.
Yeah, man, such a good time and a different time that these kids they won't understand. We didn't have access. Now I got 17 on my apps on my phone to where I could watch literally any movie in the world that I want to. Netflix, I got Hulu, I got all this. We didn't have that back then, man. So I think we took that stuff a little more. We appreciated it a little more.
You know, dude, it was the beginning of technology, and now it's antiquated, but for us it was brand new.
Yeah,
like you said, it's come so far now. I know we sound like two old. VC what's too old fool? VCRs. What's a VCR? Okay, why would they even put a tape in? Nobody uses tape. I got a bunch of VHS tapes. It took me almost 3 days to find a VCR that I could even play them in.
Wow. Yeah.
And I messed around there and found this cat out in the valley. He had an old VCR/DVD player. I still got it, and both sides work great. And I use it as my monitor when I'm downloading my videos. But yeah, it just But here's something that I learned when I was watching that movie with Jamie Foxx? No, Jamie Foxx. When all the navigation went crazy.
Oh yeah, that was good. That was good.
The little girl was trying to watch the end of Friends. And
yeah.
Thing was streaming, you couldn't watch it, and she had to go to a library and rent the DVD. That's why I keep my That's why I keep my DVDs. That's why I keep my VHSs. Okay, that's my personal collection. Nobody understands that, and even that. I was always a bootleg fan. I better go buy bootlegs, like especially the good ones. Shit. I mean, I must got 500 bootlegs just on the strength. So, if I want to watch something, and here's something else. Them bootlegs have some good qualities to them, and I got music videos, old Soul Train shows, and dude, it's just cool. It's just cool to have them. I mean, I don't have time to sit on like I used to, but I want to watch an old, there was a series that used to be in Best Buys or even Walmart. They would have music concerts live on DVD. So they had Frankie Beverly and Mays, Janet Jackson, Tina Marie before she passed. All these folks, I got their videos. I got the, you don't see. I ain't seen them on the internet, no place. But I got these old school concerts where all these players would play, man. So that's just a special collection that was only on DVD.
Man, different time, dude. Different time. We're about halfway through the show. So before we continue, I'm going to ask you all to hit that like button. If you haven't already, go on and smash it. It really helps out the show. Lets YouTube know that we exist. And if this is your first time joining the channel, you like what you hear, you don't like it, but you're somehow entertained, please hit that subscribe button. You are tuned into N.W.A. Stories with Alonzo Williams. If you don't know the name, do your Google searches. This man is responsible for damn near everything at the beginning of West Coast hip hop. I'm gonna blow him up. I'm a let him know that he is the man. He doesn't go into that too depth unless he's asked a question. But if you don't know, you will know by going down your Googles. Speaking of someone who obviously came out of your camp, Lonzo, Dr. Dre. And tonight I would like to spend a little bit of time talking about Dr. Dre and specifically the Chronic album. We talk about this, once a year probably when it's been the anniversary of the release of it. I personally think it's one of, if not the most influential album in my life, me personally.
Okay.
That and Doggy Style, there were no two bigger anticipations for albums when I was 13, 14, or however I was when that came out. But the Chronic album was released 32 years ago. This week. But before we jump into it and dive a little deeper, what are your general thoughts in hindsight now of the Chronic album?
Man, when I heard it sonically, it was a phenomenon. It was phenomenal. He did a great job overall. Now, for me, here's where my insight is different at. And I thought it was a great album. Don't get it twisted. But because I'm old enough to know where all the samples came from or the remakes came from. Same thing with Doggy Style. Okay, that's the dramatics.
It's a doggy dog world. Yeah.
That's so and so. And the way he flipped it, it was great. But he when he did it so well, it changed the game forever. Because now it's hard to do that and get away with it. I mean, if you do it, it's gonna cost you. But it was worth it because it made such a great piece of music that we're talking about it 32 years later.
Yeah.
We're talking about it 32 years later.
Let me ask you, Lonzo, before we jump back into that. I've asked you this before, but I would love for you to talk to our audience about it. But sampling, it's always amazed me because I do also as well. When I hear songs, even back more in the day, I would think of it from a business standpoint and behind the scenes and all of that. And I've never really understood how a rapper, let's say Dr. Dre, would benefit by using so many samples. Or let's go today because it was still kind of a shady area, but period, using a sample of an old song. How do they benefit? Do they win in the end? Do they go in knowing I'm not going to make any money off this? Because let's say they sample a Prince sample, he's going to charge you, $500,000, $1 million.
Prince ain't gonna. Prince would not give this.
Yeah, he ain't gonna let you do anything. I take that back. He sued Tennessee when they used Tennessee in Tennessee, and Prince was like, "Nah, homie, give me my money." So if I'm not mistaken, he owns that song Tennessee by Arrested Development. But yeah, how does someone go ahead?
When you sample somebody's stuff, okay, first of all, sampling is basically to get an idea of what you want to do, okay? And when samplers came out, that's what it basically comes from, a machine called a sampler that will allow you to record certain parts of the song, turn it into a loop. Drum machines, whatever the case may be, with SB12, SB1200, any of your drum machines had an input device on it. You can input it, and you can push a button and assign that to a button and turn that into a repetitive beat, loop, whatever you want to call it. When it first happened, nobody thought about the impact of the fees because nobody really understood the publishing and the master use. When Dre did his, he understood the publishing and master use. So what he would do, he would actually hire musicians to replay it completely, and they would loop that. He would hire musicians to replay the samples that he wanted and loop that. So now you're just paying the publish. You're not paying the master and the publishing. So you still can keep the money from the master because you just recorded a new master, but you still got to pay the publishing. Okay. And when you pay the publishing, you got to give it to writers, but you're not giving away all the money. And that's where the beauty comes in at. Yes, you get to use a song that's familiar to the ears of your record buying public, but it's going to cost you. And sometimes because you do what they call an interpolation or something to that effect, they may not charge you up front because it's just like doing a remake of somebody's song. If you decide to go do a song right now, you ain't got to pay them. You don't have to pay them to redo the song if you just redo the song the way they did it. If you want, that's why songs like "Heard It Through the Grapevine" been done 1 million times. Mm-hmm. And because Barry Gordy, if I'm not mistaken, him and Smokey wrote that together, and every artist on Motown had to do a version of "Heard It Through the Grapevine."
It's crazy. Okay,
that's for the publishing money. That's to keep the publishing checks coming in. Okay, that's strictly for the publishing. And every time you create a new master, Barry, here go the game. Joe Bett gets the money from the publishing. The writers get paid, and Motown gets a new master version of the same song. So whether it was done by Gladys Knight and the Pips, Jackson 5, Smokey Robinson and the Miracles, Temptations, don't make no difference. All you did was took the same song and got paid on it 4 different ways. And if somebody samples or used any one of those masters of that same version, you got paid all over again. It's like covering all your bets. Yeah. And you're hedging and you're covering all your bets.
Vista Light says, I heard Rick James didn't want MC Hammer to sample Super Freak until he found out how much he was going to make. Rick changed his mind. Yes. Yeah, for the original artist, I see all the benefit for the original artist. I just don't understand, why someone would say, "Oh yeah, let me throw away $500,000." And nowadays, you're not really making money off an album anyway. You know what I mean?
Well, you figure like this right here: if you can take a song like Super Freak that came with an audience already, you basically you're buying an audience. You're paying for the familiarity of the music. Okay, so when somebody doom, they hear that, oh, that's Super Freak. Oh shit, no, it's not. Oh, damn.
Right.
I've been listening to this new station on Sirius FM called Yacht Soul.
Yacht Soul. I'm gonna look that up.
Yacht Soul. And it was a song by hold on. Excuse me, folks.
Yeah, we sound like a hot mess right now. Sorry, guys. We're making it through it though.
It's a song by a group called N.W.A, and it's called Hey DJ. I didn't know that was a sample.
Oh, I don't think I did either.
I didn't know that was a sample.
The DJ, we can get it started. I didn't know that either.
I didn't know that was a sample until I heard the original on Yacht Soul. Hey, wait a minute. Okay. Damn. So that now here you go. I didn't know the original song, so now the original song is going to benefit from that too. So it's a cross benefit of having a sample because now I'm aware of the original song. Johnny made the sample a hit. I never knew the original song had any real audience appeal to it. So not a bad song, but Johnny did a better job.
Yeah, that was a good song. That still gets played to this day. How important is ownership, man? Let's jump into it. We talked about this before, but dude, to own that, whatever the original song is, it's probably owned by some white executive, let's keep it real, who put his kid through college off one song. But, if you do own something, how important is that to still be making money off of it 40, 50, 60 years later?
That's where the money comes in at, and the nostalgia,
Ownership.
of a product. See, what happens is, as you get older, people want to relive the good times of their lives, whether it was watching 9, 7, 8 channels on TV, or having a remote control that click, 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 or a song that they played in the 9th grade that you don't hear on the radio no more. And when those songs are requested to set the tone of a movie or television show, it's gonna cost you. It's gonna cost you. So that's where the beauty comes in at. If I was talking to Sir Mix-a-Lot. Sir Mix-a-Lot said he made over $100 million off of Baby Got Backs. Oh, I'm sorry.
It generated
over $100 million off Baby Got Backs. Mix-a-Lot, he made a record in what, since the 80s, the 90s?
No.
Mix-a-Lot living well. Okay? And every once in a while, somebody will pop up and give Mix-a-Lot another project to do. Every once in a while, they'll pop up with a commercial, and I'm just waiting for my turn. Okay? Now, I just read something on the internet earlier today, and the artist said that it's better to own your project and only sell 20,000 than to sell 20 million and let's have somebody else own it.
Of course. That makes perfect sense to me.
Okay. If you own and it makes 20,000 and somebody else own it and it makes 20 million, I would feel better, and that's why I've always been independent. It's if you gave me a pile of money, I may consider, but it just don't seem fair that you could have something so long, all of a sudden it becomes valuable, but you can't take advantage of the value.
Yeah, I agree. Let's go back to the Chronic album. Were you close in touch with Dre around this time?
Not at all.
No.
Nah. We hadn't talked for a while at that point. When he turned gangster, we kind of lost contact. I've always said that when they had to disassociate themselves with me, I knew the truth. If we didn't have social media back then, they might not have been as successful as they were, especially portraying themselves as gangsters.
That wouldn't fly now.
That wouldn't fly right now. It wouldn't float. Now it's over with. It's done. Everybody knows it's not the truth, but because somebody can portray themselves in a way that became popular, and again, people keep forgetting. They keep forgetting. That shit wasn't always acceptable. It wasn't always accepted off the bat. It took a while for that shit to actually tear down the barriers and become standard procedure. I was into a song today. It was dope as hell. I'm like, this dude is 50 years old, still talking about putting on a mask and running up on enemies and shit. How do you do that?
All due respect to Ice Cube, but when I hear him say stuff like that, I'm like, Cube. Me and my son used to watch your movies together, dog. Let's just leave that in the past, bro.
And it for me, it's really disappointing because you think those are the only people in the society you want to appeal to. That's your only crowd. I don't think so. I think people can respect you for being the guy from Barbershop, just like they can respect you from being Are We There Yet? And the guy from Friday. The whole purpose for making Friday was to show another side of life. The hood is the hood, but everybody in the hood don't gangbang. Everybody in the hood ain't looking for their ops. And I just think that in some cases it shows a lack of growth. But I tell you what I did find amazing, something I did find amazing today, that as much shit as they've given Ice Cube for having 3-on-3 basketball, guess what they got now? 3-on-3 women's basketball. Y'all ain't shit. Y'all ain't shit.
The originator never gets the love. Never.
Y'all ain't shit.
Lonzo Williams.
Y'all ain't shit.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all, they've been fighting this man for what, 4-5 years now on his whole situation. And while he was fighting for one thing, they creating some other shit, took his whole concept and gave it to women. Now, if he did it, he's a goddamn genius. If you did, somebody else did it, y'all ain't shit.
Yep. I 100% agree with you. Let's talk about Cube for a minute. We'll veer off just for a bit before we wrap it up with the chronic stuff. But Ice Cube starred in Boys in the Hood. You know, big deal for a rapper to star in a movie. He did great. But a couple years after that, he wrote, produced, and directed Friday. Now, that's much bigger than just starring in a movie. It's a full-time job, and it's something that takes a lot of time. Knowing Cube like you did, were you surprised he was able to put that together, or were you like, no, that makes perfect sense?
It makes sense.
He's always really
nice. He was 15 years old. He's always been one for learning and expanding himself. He's never been stagnant. He's never been a one-trick pony. Never been a one-trick pony.
What did you think of Friday when you first saw it?
I thought it was hilarious. That shit was good because it was hometown shit. Okay, you know, and I look at some of the people nowadays that take those movies and break them down, and you don't think about that shit at the time. But wait a minute, hold on. When Big Worm first showed up, homeboy had $100, so all the fight was over $100 technically. And no matter what happened, Craig was trying to borrow $200. Craig would have got better off trying to get $100. He'd have been better off. He just look, I got $100. And then he sold even after he sold after Big Worm pulled up in the ice cream truck, he sold Hector a 20. Okay. And so it was only $80 now. So, you know, when you realize sometimes there's some inconsistencies in the stories, but it still was a good movie. And I understand, you know, it's all for Hollywood. But when you look at it from a real life perspective, it was only $80. Okay. And folks were ready to crash and burn over $80.
Yep. I still watch Friday After Next to this day, once a year during Christmas. That is a smart move, I think, as well, Lonzo, is to create something that only gets played a certain amount of time. It gets played a shit ton. Perfect example, Mariah Carey and that damn Christmas song. I mean, That thing plays 1,000 times a day on channels all over the country. And apparently she makes up to $3 million a year just off that song.
Now, and see, I think that's one of the problems we have when it comes to today's hip-hop artists. Nobody don't think like that. You know, everybody wants to be hard all the time, every day. And there's no money in being hard all the time, every day. If you thought in terms of holidays and some of the things that people like to celebrate, and you create a theme song around that event, come on, man. It ain't got to be a big hit. It just got to be a good record. That's all. You know, Ice Cube took the Christmas took the Christmas spirit and made a movie about it. That, like you said, we're gonna play that for decades. That's gonna go down there right there with any other Christmas movie. It's gonna go right with any of them. It's gonna be in the Christmas movie rotation for decades. Okay. When Ice Cube was gone, who was Ice Cube? What was he? It just reminds me of Little Rascals. Okay, you don't know about the Little Rascals.
Oh man, I used to love Little Rascals.
Oh man. So when you see things like this, and that's why I say he was always smarter. Most of your rappers of his caliber never did anything like that. Think about it. They would never associate themselves with anything that didn't have to do with guns, violence, dope, whatever the case may be. They're not
Christmas movie. Get out of here.
I ain't knowing it. They think they have to live to a reputation that's like cryptocurrency. This only has value in certain circles.
Yeah. Let's go back to the Chronic album to wrap it up. Do you think Dre and Snoop are responsible for a generation of weed smokers?
Could be, very possibly. Well, you know, I think the generation of weed smokers were actually started with Cheech and Chong.
Oh, okay.
Cheech and Chong.
They influenced me more than Dr. Dre when it comes to weed.
I was into Cheech and Chong back in the 70s. Okay. And watching Nice Dreams and them other, man, dude, come on.
Dave's not here, man.
And I think that the craziest part I seen was when they put him in the insane asylum, and he scratched my balls. My balls, it's my balls. Somebody scratched my balls. My balls. That shit was hilarious. I still have that crazy ass shit. So when you create a genre, you take something that was at that time weed was still highly illegal everywhere.
It was taboo. It was still taboo.
Taboo as hell. And you wrap a movie around it, and you make people laugh at the whole process. And that's when they was trying to scare you out of smoking weed. When they had that movie, what they call it, Reefer
Madness.
Reefer Madness.
You're gonna jump out of the window and rape white women.
Yeah, they showed us that shit in the 9th grade. Reefer Madness. Oh, you just smoke some reefer, you're gonna be crazy. You're gonna do all this. You're gonna, man, get the fuck out of here with that bullshit. Get out of that bullshit. And then they turned around and made weed just some funny, some shit to have some fun with. And they had they always had pretty girls in their movies. Loved it.
Oh, you are not lying, bro.
They had them thick as a milkshake up in there, boy. So I think Snoop modernized what Cheech and Chong already started.
That makes a lot of sense.
And think about it. It's the same thing they did with the music. The music that they had in the 70s was a lot of stuff you heard on the Chronic and the Doggy Style. Okay, so they just gave new life to an old concept. Snoop became the black Cheech and Chong, the one man Cheech and Chong of our generation when it came to weed.
Yeah, that's facts. You know, this Chronic album that not only talked about pot, but it was very revolutionary. I remember being very energized by the Black Power aspect. You know, this was the time where we were rocking cross colors and African medallions and all that stuff. Nothing about Africa, but we still, Black Power back then. But that album had a lot of revolutionary stuff. Touched on topics like the riots, poverty, Rodney King. What did you think about that aspect of it? Because that was prevalent throughout the whole album.
But it was mandatory, Doc, because that was that bridging situation. We hadn't gangster rap had not totally been accepted yet, and like you said, we were still in that revolutionary mindset, and we were trying to figure out what we was gonna do, and we're going over here. It was always. I mean, think about the early days of hip hop, man. When we had cross colors and the Gumby haircuts and the chains, and nobody was really gang banging per se. People had their cliques. You had the hoods, but the hoods had not been infiltrated by the crack cocaine yet. So folks were still, people hadn't gotten mad at anybody yet. And we were still having fun in hip hop. Dude, when you go to an event, the first thing, if you went to an event back in the day, you go to the mall, Fox Hills Mall on Sunday, Monday, Friday or Saturday, everybody at the mall going to the same event that night.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you gonna be at the Palladium?
Wherever. Yeah. Everybody at the mall, and that's what solidified who was gonna be where. That's why as a promoter, I made sure me and my boys would be at the mall. We compete with Uncle Jam got boys there. We got boys there. Now I'm going to the Eve. They're doing a Freak of the Week contest. Now I'm going over to the so and so, wherever it may be. And that was how you solidified what was happening. You didn't really care what hood you was back in back then. Some people did trip a little bit on hoods back in the day, but it wasn't because the mindset hadn't solidified yet when it came to hoods being hoods. Some like the Nickerson Gardens cats, they was always the same hoods, okay, but girls didn't associate the hood that much with negativity, or Eve. I'm sorry, with negativity. They thought, okay, that's Eve after dark. It was like being O.J. Simpson. I'm not black. I'm O.J. Simpson. I'm not in the hood. I'm Eve after dark. Okay, and that was the same kind of vibe for a lot of people. I'm not the hood. That's Eve after dark. Now, eventually, it did get it more affiliated with the hood, but at one point in time, before the 90s, or during the 80s, when that shit first jumped off, it was always, hey man, that's Eve After Dark. We going to the Eve, Doc. I'll do what I got to do because the Eve is where we go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and leave that shit elsewhere. Don't bring it over here. That's the respect you have in the neighborhood, right?
Exactly. The Eve, man, the Eve was doing this, the Eve was doing that, and it just made for a different era that we'll probably never see again. But I wish we'd have some rendition of that, you know? I wish we'd have some rendition of that.
Telling these stories is a good way for us to keep it alive and for you to tell your story, man. So I'm really glad that we're able to do this. I had a really good time tonight going down memory lane and talking about VCRs and stuff like that. But being that I have to I have a 6:15 appointment. It's about 10 minutes away, but I don't want to show up right at time. But can we start wrapping it up? Any last words, my man, before we head out? Anything? What do you got coming up? I know the holidays are here, but anything after the holidays we should know about?
I see we picked up another 1,500 viewers. Everybody who subscribed to subs. I'm sorry, picked up another 1,500 subs on the channel, man. That's great. That's great for a month, dude. That's all natural. I don't buy my subs. I don't do any of that right there. So as we grow naturally. I don't do BBLs.
It's all natural channel, floppy tits and everything.
Floppy tits and all, okay? This ain't no BBL blow up here. And it's taking us a little bit longer to get the attention that we deserve, but we deserve it, and we're gonna get it naturally. So that way, when you watch us, you'll appreciate it because you know what you get yourself into. We don't do a lot of nigga. We ain't been to the nigga verse in a while, but trust me, it'll be back by the first of the year.
Oh yeah. The niggas are taking this next couple weeks off for the holidays, but I'm sure they'll be back in full swing on January. I'm
quite sure they will be. I'll be in Sacramento first week in June, doing a book signing and a documentary screening. I'll be probably in Arizona for a couple of days. My grandson is playing in the Fiesta Bowl, number 24, Boise State, Dylan Riley. That's my grandson. Kickoff returns and running back. So I'll be in Arizona, probably rocking with him and the family during the holidays, and coming back getting my teeth cleaned on Monday. I got a dental appointment on Monday morning, so it's all good, folks. It's all good. No matter how high you roll in the system, you come right back to getting your teeth cleaned on a Monday morning. Okay, all comes down to being the human. Okay, before I got to tell people, man, I didn't know you did. Man, people tell me I didn't know you would do no stuff like, man, I rake my own yard up, dude.
Yeah.
I drop my own papers off sometimes. Why do you do that? Because I can. I don't have to. But I have the time. If I have the time, I enjoy doing it. I get to hang out with my people in Compton, man. I got certain people I enjoy going to visit. Give me a reason to stop through, see what's going on in Compton College, see what's happening in the school district, and just get a quick. Hey, they keep me out of sight, out of mind, folks. Remember that. Yep. Out of sight, out of mind. Man. Hey, folks.
Always a pleasure.
I'm gonna let Dusty get up out of here. We're gonna say this. Dusty, that's an ugly shirt too. I appreciate that, though.
Thank you, man. We had an ugly sweater party recently, and this was my choice. I thought I'd rock it.
You came in real good. You did real good. In the meantime, folks, I'm gonna get up out of here. And before I go, for those who never heard of me, I'm the first one to put Dr. Dre in the surgery, stuck Ice Cube in the freezer till he got cold on the Eve After Dark, 50-yard line at the Super Bowl. In the movie Straight Outta Compton, they played me like a hater of rap. Don't believe that Hollywood bullshit because it was all cap. In the movie Straight Outta Compton, my history goes deep. Just remember that N.W.A. stands for Not Without Alonzo. Peace, y'all.